here is real gameplay from a Minecraft developer of a feature they were working on before they left Mojang. This is one of many examples, and sadly it means there are lots of examples of features that we won't ever see because the developers working on them have left the company. All Mojang employees of course contribute to making Minecraft, but without Dinnerbone we wouldn't have this hilarious Easter egg, without Jeb we wouldn't have the Stronghold, and without Kingby Dogs we wouldn't have... well, actually, in some ways, we might be better, actually. But, however, being around for 15 years means that some of these prolific developers have moved on to other things, and so here is a brief retrospective of who they were and what features they were working on or mentioned, and therefore what we lost as a result. And in case you're curious as to why I'm talking into this like it's a microphone, it's because I wanted to talk into a cucumber, but it gets green screened out, and so, I don't know, we could turn it into an echo shot or something, as we talk about Tommaso Cecchi, one of the most famous former Mojang employees. He is a former member of the Minecraft Redmond team, in other words the US team, and he worked as a software architect for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. He worked on the game's graphics, gameplay features, and missing and easy things. This led to lots of fun exclusives coming from his tenure, including the all-famous Mason Mineshaft. He left the Minecraft Redmond team in 2021, however, and that means that we won't see some of the fun features he's mentioned, such as water waves. He posted in this screenshot right here a shader that he was working on to add waves to water in Minecraft Pocket Edition, as it was known at the time. These were seen from a distance, and it was kind of a cool thing, but he says it's very un-Minecrafty, which is presumably why they've never been added to the base game, even to this day. However, the 391 block height limit was something he also showed off. While he was working on the tech for the game, he realized that he could get height limits working very, very high, well beyond what we even see in Minecraft now, which is funny because even though this has never been added, it is worth mentioning that with the Caves and Cliffs update, we have 384 blocks of world height, so just 7 blocks below what was possible in Minecraft Pocket Edition in 2016 with Tommaso Cecchi, and so these two features have sort of come to the base game because water waves sort of look like what's possible with shader technology built into Bedrock today, but two features that are lost forever are the limited world sizes. If you are not familiar, back in the 0.9 update, Pocket Edition got infinite worlds, and at the time a lot of people suggested maybe you could keep the old style worlds, and he said yeah, but also he'd love to see the idea of legacy worlds, 1,000 by 1,000 or 10,000 by 10,000. That second one is particularly interesting because although it was suggested for realms in his original Reddit comment, he also then suggested something else that could happen at 10,000 blocks because he posted on Twitter a screenshot of his Farlands experiment, which looks like a new biome he was working on, which basically took the idea of the Farlands and made it not so far away. Apparently, according to a comment that he made, this biome would have generated around 10,000 blocks from the world spawn, but this distance could have been configured by the team later if they wanted to, and as said by him in the tweet, this was more of an experiment than a feature showcase, so it wasn't ever going to guarantee end up in the game, but it is a cool idea to take the Farlands, which obviously don't exist once Minecraft works correctly, and build them into the base generation as something that happens after 10,000 or 100,000 or even 1,000,000 blocks, because ultimately people going that far would love to see something cool, unique, and maybe broken. As long as it doesn't have any gameplay features locked behind it, like the Woodland Mansion, having super rare features that generate far from spawn sounds awesome, actually. Anyway, the second famous, prolific Minecraft developer you might know about is Ryan Holtz, also known as the Mog Miner. He is a former gameplay developer at Mojang Studios, and he worked on the Java edition, so the opposite, I guess you could say, and he worked on the rendering engine and gameplay features such as rabbits and the old customized world type. The old world type was based on his mod Wedge. It's since been changed because Minecraft had to change everything there, but he mentioned quite a few features in his brief tenure, 2013 to 2015. One of these was the color lighting. This was a particularly intriguing one because to this day, Minecraft only has 15 possible levels of lights that are possible at any coordinates in the world, and all light sources just emit the same light everywhere, slowly fading down one by one as you get further away. It's a very boring lighting system, but because Minecraft is keeping the game somewhat fairly bare bones, this is the one that they actually have. Sadly, the game has never had much more than this, arguably because it needs to keep things simple, and although we've seen some form of graphic shaders, like the one before of the waves, that have utilized deferred rendering or ray tracing, ultimately vanilla Minecraft still has those simple 15 levels of light. But what if those levels of light had colors? Well, this is what the Mog Miner was experimenting with at some point in time, even showcasing an image from that very experiment where multiple colors of light can be seen emitted from different types of torches. It's a very cool idea, but it was never performant enough to make make it into the vanilla game, and given that he's no longer working on making it vanilla performance, and it's been a good 9 years, you can be fairly sure that Minecraft is going to continue sticking with the simplistic model of light that it uses to this day. Next up, we have one of the most famous, in fact the one from the Hoglin dancing in the intro, it's Henrik Kniberg. I would say he is single-handedly, in the modern era of Minecraft, one of the most influential Minecraft developers, whether that's his public profile or whether that's his game development skills, or something I wouldn't be able to personally comment on. However, he was a former coach and game developer at Mojang Studios. He worked on the Java edition specifically, but obviously the generation he made there was ported over to Bedrock, and he joined the Minecraft development gameplay team in March of 2019. He left in May of 2022, so in just 3 years he worked on the Never update and the Caves and Cliffs update, but specifically is most famous for working on the revamped world generation as part of the Caves and the Cliffs, because that's what the update was called. He previously worked at LEGO and Spotify, so lots of famous Nordic countries, and one of the biggest examples of features that he worked on outside of the generation was Hoglin's dancing. He apparently enjoyed the idea of piglins dancing successfully after they hunted hoglins, so he made it possible when hoglins hunted piglins successfully for them to dance as well, and well... How can you not smile looking at this? It's great. Very high quality. Honestly, a part of me looks at this and says that even though this is hilarious and even though this is something that would have been really great to see in the game, I see how it's a little bit gameplay breaking and why maybe this feature is more for giggles and laughs than a really serious one, but I would love to see this implemented into the game anyway, if not just for the fun. Next up, we have Maria Lemon. This is one that always surprises me because she was working at Mojang Studios between October 2016 and March of 2020. This is all public data, by the way. I'm not like digging into Swedish employment records, and although it does take a lot of research to find things such as the Excited Z Easter egg, which is Minecraft Java Edition exclusive. It is one of the few features which can't be ported to Bedrock because it is an Easter egg to the game's language, which is configurable in-game in Minecraft Java, but only configurable on a system level in Minecraft Bedrock. Anyway, if you type Excited Z, it will switch your game language to Pirate Speak, which sadly my Xbox doesn't let me apply more broadly, but she also added parrots to Minecraft, and sadly was therefore the center of the parrot taming controversy. Giving them cookies seems like a really good idea until you work out what that is in real life. Ultimately, it was the first of Minecraft's many silly controversies, but one of the features that she tried to work on was this, the animated recipe book. It's such a simple idea, ultimately, but in Java, there is a recipe book, which is just a green book, which counts as an item, but this recipe book is how you see the Bedrock-style inventory, and she considered adding an animated flipping book at one point. She said she would have to talk to the animation team, to the obviously to the art team to get this done, but it never came to the game, and as she's now left, I doubt there is anyone following on this idea for her, and Maria Lemon is one of the more fun Minecraft developers who is, of course, now no longer working for the game. We also have Rick and Rule for Life, who is a bit more of an interesting story because he worked on Minecraft Java, and unlike most of these stories where they left a few years later to move on to other things, he started working at Minecraft Java in July of 2018 and then left in April of 2019. He had previously worked on the Minecraft Redmond team, but unfortunately he did not leave Mojang of his own accord. He had to leave due to being denied an extension for staying in Sweden, making him unable to work for Mojang in Stockholm, Sweden, and so even though he worked on the Village and Pillage update, he worked on just a single one, which is surprising. I felt like he was one of the more prolific Minecraft developers, which goes to show, sometimes people that you assume are still working on Minecraft have actually been long gone. The most famous example is probably Aaron Nieminen, who worked on the Minecraft Pocket Edition original launch. He worked all the way on it until December of 2012, which is when Jeb took over as the Chief Creative Officer, and he continued to work on the Pocket/Bedrock codebase after this. He also made Minecraft Pi Edition and worked with Notch before Minecraft, and also worked on Scrolls/Caller's Bane. It's kind of crazy that back in the early days of Mojang, one person could just work on 5 different roles, and they were a small enough company that actually made sense, whereas now all of those things would be done by someone slightly different. And by the way, since we mentioned he worked with Notch, obviously we have to say Marcus Persson is another employee that no longer works at Mojang. I know, crazy, you're all shocked, no one remembers this, but yes, one of the most famous Mojang personalities no longer works at Mojang Studios, despite leading the development of Minecraft until version 1.0 when Jeb was given creative control, and despite creating Minecraft 4K as well as Minicraft, and despite his ex's brother, Christopher Zetterstrand creating the original paintings for Minecraft and even coming back later to make some more for the Tricky Trials update. Those are really great, by the way, especially in all of the textures. There's a fun video if you want to see it in lots of different 4J texture packs. He sadly left Mojang in November 2014, and this is because of the fact that he made it a condition of the buyout. He could have stayed on if he wanted to, but he made it a condition of the buyout that he leave the company because he was just done with it. He was getting hate for features that he didn't feel like he was working on, and he was offered 2.5 billion, although that was split between 3 people, so he was never actually a billionaire. I know, tragic, it's awful. I cannot imagine only having hundreds of millions of dollars. I would feel real sad too. But yeah, he worked on a lot of different features. You might be familiar with some of them, but we'll just simplify by saying he worked on many things, and it goes without saying he probably won't be coding for Minecraft in the near future, although it looks like he's been working on some fun side projects, and they've got a little bit of a Minecraft-y twist to them, which is exciting. Another person from the early days of Mojang is Daniel Wustenhoff, or Darngeek as we know him. He worked on the Minecraft Bedrock Edition and also for Minecraft Dungeons. He worked on several of the major updates for Minecraft Pocket Edition, and he was just the mainstay of the early days of MCPE. I remember it was a crazy time on YouTube, but yeah, basically he actually left Mojang in October of 2021. The reasons why were never given. Also, Helen Angel, or Helen, I apologize, she's a personal friend of mine, but I do not know how to pronounce, I know her maiden name, but I do not know how to pronounce her full name, was of course the former community manager for Minecraft at Mojang Studios. She provided community support for the legacy Minecraft Console Edition platforms, as well as being a community manager for the Minecraft franchise more broadly, which she joined in July of 2015. As best I can tell before that, she was just someone fun who commented on Reddit a lot. Again, I really love these early Mojang employees, but even though she was so prolific, she left Mojang in August of 2020. The exact circumstances are very, very intriguing, publicly speaking, but as far as we can say, there is not too much happening besides that she left Mojang to become the director of community for Minecraft at Rewrite Media and Jigabob Productions. She works for 2 separate Minecraft marketplace partners, and she is one of the more famous Minecraft employees, and some of the features that she mentioned were being worked on was one of these being a revamped weather system. She said there was a design document that describes a complete overhaul of the weather system in Minecraft to be more scientifically correct while still being biome appropriate. Sadly, we have seen an update to the biomes without necessarily seeing the weather's update as well, and also, yeah, despite this huge expansion of the system, it would be especially intriguing, but Minecraft players have suggested the idea of seasons, which also haven't come to the game either. I think these would be great ideas, but they won't be making it because she is no longer an employee. We also have here Tanner Pearson. This is one of my personal bummers. I think he made one of the coolest Minecraft Bedrock features, but yeah, he worked on Minecraft Bedrock until his contract ended, and this mainly meant that he worked on the new water graphics for the update aquatic. I think he did a very good job, and I'm really surprised because a lot of these people left Mojang not because they moved on to other things and they didn't want to be working on Minecraft anymore, but Mojang specifically didn't renew their contract. And so one of the things that he was specifically working on was the overhaul of combat. Why would you not? It's not the same as firing to not renew someone's contract, right? But to hire someone on a temporary contract and then say, yeah, but we don't want this anymore, seems a little silly, especially where they're working on something so cool. Speaking of something so cool, PEMDAS. He is no longer on Minecraft either. He worked on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, but his contract was terminated. Sunken City worked on Minecraft Bedrock until their contract was terminated. They're living in Tokyo now. It's fun to follow them, but they do not work on Minecraft anymore. The same is true for Thomas Gumbretair, Professor Mobius. He was a former developer at Mojang Studios who worked on the Java edition of the game. He co-founded the Mod Coder Pack alongside Sarge, DP, another famous OG, and he left Mojang in June of 2020, and interestingly enough, he left Mojang to work with the marketplace partner, Razzleberry Fox, or rather, Razzleberry Fox is his partner, his wife, and the studio is called Razzleberries AB, which makes me think it's Swedish as a result. I could be fairly sure it is. Fun fact, you know how, when you make a fake company name in the United States, you're like, oh yeah, this is Doofenshmirtz Inc. And in the UK, it's like, oh, this is Doofenshmirtz Limited. The Swedish version of that is AB. The German version is GmbH. Every country has its own version of saying this is a company and not a person. And you don't need to know that, but, you know, it's 1 a.m. where I am right now. I'm going to give you some fun trivia in between you Minecraft developers. I hope you appreciate it. But I also think it's really interesting just to take a second and say, this is 2 separate employees just from our notable employee list that have left Mojang to work at marketplace teams. Why is this the case? Well, I think that regardless of what you can say about their contract being terminated or their leaving of Minecraft, I think it tells you something very interesting, which is that working for a marketplace partner, creating content for Minecraft can be just as profitable as creating Minecraft itself, or at least just as emotionally fulfilling, and that is hugely interesting and at least somewhat unexpected, right? Even as someone who is a marketplace partner and someone who understands how much you can make if things go well, it is still very surprising to hear. Speaking of surprising to hear, I was surprised when Jason Major, or Argo Major, who worked at the Minecraft Redmond studio as a technical director, actually left the game. He worked on Minecraft Bedrock and was one of the major developers who worked on changes like the rabbits for 0.13, who worked on gameplay features for the Better Together update, and also who came up with the idea for the stream mob. It was during one of Mojang's game jams. Honestly, Mojang's game jams are fascinating. This is where so many of their fun ideas come together. But yeah, he's made multiple appearances at Minecraft Live. However, he left Mojang in October of 2021, and so even though he was the face of so many things Minecraft, he left the team. Is all of this a bad sign for Mojang? Is all of this a sign that the company is falling apart? Honestly, no. I think if we're being brutally honest with ourselves, the reality is with 15 years of history, we're talking about a third of the length of a career at that point. A normal-ish career at the very least, and so a lot of people naturally will just turn over. One of the things that Mojang have been very clear about is in the early days, everything was rushed and crazy and kind of all over the place, but now people are starting to, sink into having something that's a bit more career-focused. Sometimes we notice this on the user end because things feel a bit slower and things, the communication the speed and the progress and the urgency feels like it's gone down, but sometimes this means that some of the developers that you might have followed, that you might have been excited about, and that you might have expected to see in a Minecraft announcement no longer are doing those things because they've left to go to either bigger things, to better things, or maybe just to other fulfilling things in their career. Ultimately, I think that finding Minecraft interesting to play for 15 years is something that is fairly common amongst people who have been around, but finding Minecraft interesting to develop and to deal with our very unique community is one that I think is a very intriguing problem, and that's why I think it's surprising that a good 70-80% of Minecraft developers are still around. And I want to say, if any of them are watching this video, I hope that you are indeed enjoying what you're doing, and I hope you understand that no matter how much weird hate some portions of the Minecraft community give you, that we appreciate the fun things that come to the game, and also that if you're looking for some fun features to pick up, all of these would clearly be hugely popular, and so, if you want to make a Farlands biome or some limited world sizes, feel free to take it. It's free real estate now, right? Anyway, otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna get some sleep. It's so late. Actually, I'm just gonna scroll Twitter. I'm gonna laugh at the video of the Hoglins again, and then I'm gonna sleep. It'll be great. Anyway, goodbye.